Good evening and welcome to Hello It's Us. Hello It's Us is dedicated to educating the general public about issues of import to the disability community. We believe that those of you who watch the show will recognize that in truth these issues are important to everyone, as people with disabilities certainly are a part of our general community. Hello It's Us is brought to you through a collaboration between the University of Iowa Center for Disabilities and Development, Uptown Bill's Coffee Shop, and our good friends at Public Access Television. My name is Mike Honig. I am one of the co-hosts for Hello It's Us. I am a program coordinator at University of Iowa Center for Disabilities and Development. Keith?
I'm Keith Love, the other co-host. I am retired, but I am a busy advocate for disability issues, and I'm writing a book.
Excellent. Still waiting for that book to come out, by the way, Keith. Well, we're excited once again to be filming on location at ICATER at 210 North in the Lindquist Center.
And 110.
Oh, all right, just cut me and we'll go again. I don't know where I got that. We're excited once again to be filming on location at ICATER, which is located in N110 Lindquist Center. We're actually in the conference room here, and ICATER it's quite a facility. We'll be introducing you to the technology and the facility in the next two segments. Our guests for this segment, which is part 3 of a 4-part series, our guests are Amanda Lewis, a University of Iowa school psychology doctoral student and a graduate assistant here in ICATER, and Kyle Spading. Kyle is a rehabilitation counselor and a community advocate, and I believe that Keith is going to interject a few comments as well from the standpoint of technology, because this segment is all about demonstrating a variety of pieces of assistive technology. We talked about technology a lot during the last segment and why it is so important to all of us who have disabilities. With this segment, we're actually going to show some things, and you will hear from our guests about how they utilize the technology to benefit them in many aspects of their lives. And we're going to start that process by introducing Kyle, who is going to talk a bit about some of the features of his power chair. So Kyle, take it away.
Hi, my name is Kyle Spading, and I am a recent graduate at the University of Iowa. Here, as you can see, I am demonstrating a very important piece of my assistive technology in my power wheelchair with my sip and puff control. I can operate all of my driving features, and that's both in place, spinning my chair in this manner, a series of soft and hard sips and puffs on the straw that you can see is in my mouth. I'm able to spin my chair in place. I am able to toggle between different options to tilt both the seat and backrest and recline just the backrest to get my necessary pressure relief to avoid things like skin breakdown and things of that nature. It also elevates in space too. This can come in handy with more of your personal cares and transferring to and from bed and whatnot. Also, if you just want to be, it allows me to be more sociable too if I'm able to raise up and talk with someone face to face as well.
Like Kyle did, this chair tilts, but it ain't you low. And Kyle has many more technology parts that I don't have. But at least I had to get it tilt chair because I was in the hospital with a heart problem. So they wanted me to have a tilt chair. So it's very easy for me to operate with my CP, I can really cut corners and get around. Yes.
Keith, I know that you
Yes.
got your first chair back in '76.
Yes.
So how has technology advanced since then?
Well, there were many more moving parts in the very first wheelchair. Now it's practically all computerized, and they use bicycle tires for the back tires. This was the first model I had that was on the platform like this.
So most of you guys will see that I'm operating most of my chair with this straw you see here, the white straw. There's also a clear straw here, and that's merely just for hydration and water. Did that one fairly, had to use my imagination for that one and just figure out how to use electrical tape, strap that up so I can drink water all day. As far as operating my chair, we call this a sip and puff. And that's basically how I run all the functions of my chair. So in order to drive the chair, how I do with this, there's a series of sips and puffs is what they call them. And they're either soft or they're hard. And they're either prolonged or they're short. And so with each one, I can control reclining my backrest. I can control a full tilt to get the pressure relief that I need, or to fit into any spaces I need. I found that with mobility, just being able to tightly fit my legs into a place that needs a fit, that happens with tilt. And the other one would be ultimately the elevate, and that allows me to move up and down in the air merely with nothing but this straw, as well as all of the different driving. So I can spin, I can go frontwards, backwards, reverse, any direction. As far as the straw go, or in addition to both of these straws, we got water, we got drive controls, pretty much operate my entire wheelchair here. And then I've got, you'll notice I'll be wearing this dot on my nose. It's an infrared, or it's a reflective dot that reflects infrared light from an infrared camera, and that is actually how I run mouse control on my computer.
As you can see here, along with the Smart Nav mouse control and on-screen keyboard features that I'm using, there are a number of different ways that all of these components can be utilized, mounted directly to my wheelchair, so they're customized and specific to my needs. Even when you look down at my wrist, we're talking everything from low tech to high tech, with the wrist strap that I have on my wrist is merely a pill case that we used.
Okay, and with that reflective dot on my nose, as you can see, there's a camera at the top of my computer that's attached, and it's called the Smart Nav. That projects infrared light and reflects off that dot, and then ultimately connects to the USB port in my laptop. And wherever I move my nose or my head movement with that dot reflects onto the computer screen to run the mouse. And in order to get the click that I need with the function that I have a wrist strap. I should mention that when I type, I can use Dragon Naturally Speaking, which we'll get into here later, but if I need to make manual typing possible, I can pull up the on-screen keyboard. I can enlarge this as big as I need it and type away. with the mouse.
Hi, I'm Amanda Lewis. I'm one of the graduate assistants here at the Iowa Center for Assistive Technology Education and Research, or ICATER. I'm also a doctoral student in school psychology in the Department of Psychological and Quantitative Foundations here in the College of Ed. I was diagnosed when I was about 8 years old with specific learning disabilities in written expression as well as math calculation. I also have some difficulties with working memory and processing. Since my disability has kind of been part of my self-concept since I was a pretty young child, usually I'm pretty open in social settings with sharing it, and I actually usually enjoy the opportunity to be an advocate for people with specific learning disabilities and people with invisible disabilities in general. However, unfortunately, there's still a lot of misinformation and misconception about what it means to have a learning disability. And so sometimes I am a little concerned about disclosing that, particularly in settings like interviews for jobs, because I worry that people will misunderstand my capabilities if I disclose that information.
Like Kyle mentioned, he uses the Smart Nav in order to mouse and navigate around his computer, but many people use a variety of different tools in order to navigate their computers. One of the big ideas with assistive technology is it's not one size fits all, and we do mean that literally. You can see here we have a variety of sizes of mousing tool. This is a Joystick Plus, so this is a really great tool for people who might have some good gross movement, but that finer movement is more challenging for them, so this can be used with really big movements but still be small on the computer. Kind of on the flip side, we have our ring mouse. If you can zoom in there, you can see this is actually worn on the hand, and there's a small touchpad just like you would see on a laptop right here on the top. You would then use a dongle, a USB dongle that would plug right into a computer like so in order to use this mouse. Other options for mousing including switching, so this would be used for clicks and double clicks. Again, a variety of sizes similar to what you saw with Kyle. Some of these can be attached to Velcro strips, so they're directly on an individual like you saw with Kyle. Others simply rest. And this is just another type of switch that's very sensitive. So again, that gross versus fine movement. Keyboards have a very similar idea with both big and small, depending on the type of movement an individual has. The idea is that we want this to be as easy with as minimal of effort as possible for any individual. Again, with size, we've got a variety of iPads, and these are all tools that are available to check out and trial here at ICATER. University of Iowa students are able to check out these items for free and consult with us for free about what might be the best tools for them. Members of the community are also invited to come and do consults and explore our tools. We do charge a fee of $50 an hour for the consult, but during that time you get access to our entire library of tools, as well as working with myself, Patty, and our fellow graduate assistant, Maggie, to help find the best tools for you. Now on these iPads we have over 2,000 different apps for a variety of different needs, from note-taking to reading, writing, alternate communication, and a lot more. One of the tools that I know Kyle mentioned is Dragon Naturally Speaking. That's a tool I use myself personally, and I want to take a moment to share that tool with you. For that. So if you're more comfortable just speaking your words and then going back through and adding punctuation, that is a perfectly acceptable technique and one that many people use when they are using dictation software. So now I want to show you a few more things Dragon can do. Wake up. Wake up. New line. Dictation tools are essential for people who may Select Essential. A great option. Insert after May. Struggle with writer. Period. Go to sleep. Delete that. Period. Go to sleep. Excellent. Okay, so you saw a few different things there. You saw me essentially hitting the enter key, starting a new line. You saw me editing some text, so I changed to essential because obviously dictation tools aren't essential for everyone, and they're only essential for people who prefer them. So you saw me change that to a great option. You saw me resume my writing afterwards and inserting my cursor after the May. And then you saw me finish my sentence. You actually saw it have a confusion and think that I was trying to type the phrase go to sleep instead of giving it a command, and you saw me correct it. And then you saw me put it back to sleep. In addition to basic dictation, one of the things I like to point out with Dragon is that it can be used for every stage of the writing process. So for example, we know that free writing is a very useful strategy to promote high quality writing. But for people for whom fluent writing is difficult, there are many programs devoted to trying to save the pandas. Many of them are housed in zoos all over the world. Go to sleep. Okay, so that was an example of me just saying everything that was popping into my head about panda bears. You can see now how I might be able to go back through either using my voice, as you saw me using navigation, saying things like insert after, new line, things like that, where I could go through and edit this up. I could also use my mouse and my keyboard. That's another nice thing about Dragon, is if you are able to use a mouse and keyboard comfortably, you can use those in concert with Dragon. But you can see how I could use this now to kind of generate an outline. I could see that, okay, maybe this is my title. Maybe I'm going to talk about habitat. Here's some habitat. Maybe I'm going to talk about diet. Maybe I'm going to talk about how they're endangered. And you can see how you can start to build that outline and then flip back once you've got that outline and really talk through your essay.
Hey,
Hi.
Can we help you?
chem class?
Yeah.
Front desk girl knows what it's gonna be.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
We hope. Just real quick, for example, wake up. Wake up. New line. My grocery list, colon. New line. Apples. Bullet that. New line. Bread. Make that numbered. Go to sleep. So you can see how I can use formatting. I could also select by saying select and then whatever I want, and then I can give it a font, a size, a color, whatever I want, completely customize this document, all using my voice. So that's just a few of the things that Dragon can do. Again, this is a very robust product, and I give much longer tutorials on this product. And I'd love to give one to you. Just come on down to ICATER. Dragon Naturally Speaking has been a really important tool for me in being able to keep up with the production expectations in a doctoral level graduate program. I first was introduced to Dragon actually in middle school, and I experienced some frustrations then with the accuracy and kind of the limitations of the tool, but as the technology has developed, it has become such a phenomenally intuitive and precise tool for me. Really, Dragon allows me to bypass those
areas of writing that are difficult for me. I have difficulty manipulating a pencil a little bit. My handwriting is not particularly good. And it also just allows me to get my thoughts onto the page in a more streamlined way. I feel like I'm a much better speaker than I am a writer, and so being able to write down what I'm speaking has allowed me to produce high quality written work in a very timely way. So I feel like my professors and my clients, when I'm writing reports for other students with disabilities, get a better idea of the quality of my thoughts and my analysis, which in turn can help them. That's something that I've always actually really enjoyed doing. I decided when I was about 15 years old that I wanted to pursue a PhD in school psychology, specifically to help students with disabilities and to try and pursue systemic changes and individual changes that can help them learn to their full potential. So I have embraced the opportunities that ICATER gives me to go out and speak, both in small demonstrations like you saw for College of Education students and other University of Iowa students. I also speak to groups of educators and other education professionals. We do workshops, we go to conferences, and in all of those settings, I love to be able to show off what technology can do and what it can do to help students, and also to talk about how these things can really impact the lives of students and be an advocate for students with disabilities. I taught high school for a year before I came here to start my PhD program, and I remember asking my students who knew that I had a learning disability myself. All of my students had specific learning disabilities. I was an interventionist, and I asked them, hey, as I go on to hopefully help more students like you guys, what's the one thing you want other people to know about students with learning disabilities? And they looked at me, and it was, they all said it at the same time. It was stunning to me, and they said, tell them we're not stupid, Miss Lewis. Tell them that we're smart. And so I want to pass that message along, that students with disabilities are so capable, and we just need, as a society and as an educational community, to enable that potential.